King Fit Fam, this is Andrew, and today we're going to look at a couple of drills to counter a sloppy right hand or a straight, so it might be a southpaw with the left hand. So when people are throwing their backhand, for us orthodox boxers, it's us right hand, that right hand for a lot of us, right? So you're seeing some things already happen when I'm here. They sometimes cross their body and they make themselves pretty open, right? And one thing that happens with somebody that's doing that right is they roll it back. So kind of like in the jab drill we did, some people jab and roll it back. You see this in the right hand as well. So in that case, if they're rolling it back, they're kind of bringing it down and back, it's a great opportunity for you to land a hook right over the top. So as they're throwing that right, you're throwing your hook, because there's going to be that space from here to here when they roll it back. Okay? So what I like to do is keep my right hand nice and tight when I'm doing a counter to that rolling right hand. Nice and tight, getting skinny, and come over the top of a little hook. Right? As their head is coming forward a little bit and they're rolling, because their hips have to go forward and they roll. So I get skinny, I keep that right hand close to catch their right hand if need be, if they can actually get that far, because I'm getting skinny. I was here. So they're having to deal with my blade twisting. And then I'm coming right over the top. So catching and throwing that hook, right? Catching and throwing that hook. Side view, catching their right hand here. My elbow and forearms nice and tight against my body. Not out here, really tight, so I can stop pretty much anything. You can kind of push against your hand and make sure it's nice and tight. We're right by a firehouse, so you have to deal with that. So, wow, right? So it's a good timing drill as they're throwing that right. Catch it and then throw your hook. And that's number one, just throwing that hook. And really, if you want, you could follow it up with an uppercut, a little straight as you step back, right? So you throw that hook, throw that uppercut afterwards, or throw that hook, take it straight back, right? So there's a couple of options. There's a lot more options, in fact, than that. The second thing that people do when they throw that right hand, similar to that first one, I guess a little different, is a hitch. And then they come for a punch. Hitch, punch. And normally you're going to see people hitch to try to get more oomph on their punch. And this is great for you because it lets you know they're throwing that power hand. All right? Similarly to the first counter, as soon as I say I hitch, pop, I'm throwing that hook. And what I'll do is I'll take a little step out. So maybe like a European check hook, where I'm taking that small step to the left. My left foot is landing when my left hook lands, and then from there I might throw a right hand or whatever you want. Right? So that's so as soon as you see that hitch, pop, pop, right? Left foot, left hook, right straight. And that can have some angles. If you are a little more advanced and you want to get yourself into a southpaw stance after that first one, pop, right? You can pivot back, and then your right hand's in front, or your left if you're a southpaw, right? Get some distance. But you're really looking for that hitch, and people do that a lot. We'll give you one more, and then you guys got places to go. This is something I get caught doing, and it's something I'm trying to get out of my system. It's a little smarter than the first two for the person throwing the power shot, but if it's a pattern, it's easy to stop. So one thing I do when I throw my right hand is I bring my weight to that front foot. I'll show you from the side view here. So it's good because my head is now off that firing line, right? My head was here, but I've got a lot of weight on that front foot, right? And what I like to do is I'll throw that right hand, land on the left, and I'll skip through, which is great. You can use that absolutely. Throw a hook, whatever it might be, really skip out or pivot out. So you change an angle. But if you're doing it all the time, it becomes a pattern. It's kind of easy to counter. And the counter I recommend is rolling with that right hand. So getting that nice tight guard, rolling, catching it here, and come back with a short uppercut. Because your opponent is putting their head right where your uppercut is. Right? So you're rolling an uppercut. Just make it one movement. Roll. Uppercut. And notice my hand is not going all the way down here. A lot of people have that habit when they're doing uppercuts. I want to see a roll. My hand is low enough. Uppercut. Because their head is coming down, right? Roll, uppercut. Roll, uppercut. Right over here. rolling uppercut. Rolling uppercut. And when they land that right and you roll, right? They're landing there right in your forearm, your elbow. And then you roll, they kind of go a little bit more over to that side. So it kind of puts them in a great spot. So let's do a round of you just using these 3 counters against my bad hooks. Okay? So I might be throwing that rolling 2. I might be throwing that hitching right hand. Or I might be going too far over and getting set up in the uppercut. So just as a review, that first one, when you see them roll it back, you can stop it and throw your hook at the same time. Right? Catch them as they're throwing. And if you want to add an extra punch or two, you can do that. Throw an uppercut, get yourself a pivot. You can throw that hook, step back with a 2 to give you some distance. Kind of do whatever you want. This is where you kind of explore who you are. That's the first one. Second one, we are taking that hook as well, but now I'm using that to get to this side a little bit more. Just to change it up a little bit. So that's a European check hook. You could use a normal check hook where you're pivoting, absolutely fine, and then landing something. Or you can use that European where your left foot's going out to the side as you throw that left hook, or vice versa if you're a southpaw. And then you can throw that right hand as your right foot comes back. This could be an uppercut. And we're using that when they hitch. All right, and that last one, they're putting their head down here, and you're just rolling and uppercutting. And you can feel free to add some movement. If you want to roll a little bit as you go to the right, right? So you got movement. Right? Feel free to add some stuff. Okay, we'll make sure you're warmed up for this next part. So I want to make sure that you have your shoulders nice and warm, your hip flexors nice and warm. And we're going to do 3 minutes of me throwing some bad, some ugly right hands at you. Some bad straights, right? Let's start with 5 of each. We're going to do the roll back. There you go. If you're not warmed up, make sure you pause the video, get yourself warmed up before you join us here. Or if you're like some people, you just want to just go without the warm-up. Go nice and slow. I'm going nice and slow. I'm not super warmed up myself. Good. Yeah, you catch me on the way back. Catch me here, pal. Yeah, let's do one more here. There we go. Hopefully that's not how you're throwing your right hand. And you got the hitch. All right? They're loading up that power. You can see it. You catch them with that hook as soon as you see that hitch. There we go. Hey. You see that hitch? Hit it with the hook. There we go. Nice. Next up, they start to put that right, they throw that right and they let their head dip down. Give me with that uppercut. You're doing a roll and an uppercut. They get stuck there for a while. Good, now I'm going to be throwing a combination of any of them. If you don't make the right choice, that's okay. Just have something and get out of dodge. Land your offense and then do some defense, right? From the last video, hitch, jab, right? The roll jab, remember those ones? The bow and arrow, or the bow and arrows back here, they open that right. Then you got the barbecue, right? Keep landing those shots. I might throw it down here. Bow and arrow, now you got jabs and straights coming at you. Hitch right. Roll right. How are we doing on time? All right, 10 seconds. Let's get it. All right, that's enough. You can rewind that, speed it up. I'm sure there's all kinds of fun stuff you can do. So pay attention to when people are throwing those right straights, or left, of course, for your southpaw, and you'll be able to capitalize on that. They're actually in a more vulnerable position than the sloppy jabs that we did last week. So use those if you can. Thanks. Bye-bye.